In 1970, Clint Eastwood reteamed once more with director Don Siegel to bring us Two Mules for Sister Sara. In it, he plays a man named Hogan. He's a bit of an outlaw, a bit of a loner, and he, as seems to be a common trait in a lot of Eastwood films, particularly his westerns, he intervenes when a woman is being attacked. It just so happens that that woman is a nun, apparently. So yeah, he kind of gets saddled with her reluctantly and helps her across country in order to go on a certain mission that will benefit him greatly from a financial perspective. Of course, what you've then got is the pairing of, as I say, someone who is an outlaw, someone who doesn't really play by the rules, someone who's quite willing to kill someone if he has to, paired with a nun who obviously is a woman of God who wants to do things humanely and treat people right, and yeah, it's that whole odd couple kind of pairing that is a staple of cinema. And if you get the right two actors together to do that with, then you have gold. Here we get the right two actors. We've got obviously Eastwood in a very comfortable mould, doing what he does best, playing a Western action hero with a really dry wit about him, and take no prisoners kind of attitude, look after himself kind of attitude. And then you've got Shirley Maclaine, who obviously is playing the opposite of that, at least on first glance. You know where it's going with her character. If I have one downside with this film, I would say that it is pretty much right off the bat clear as to what's really going on with Sister Sara. If she's a nun, I am the Pope. Yeah, they could have done more, I think, to kind of hide that twist. I think you see that coming a mile off because they signpost it so much. But it's not a film that hinges on the twist. It is a film that hinges on the interplay between these two main characters as they go on the road together, get into adventures, get into scrapes, and have to deal with each other's kind of conflicting personalities. Shirley Maclaine isn't someone whose back catalogue I am well versed in, but she did appear in The Apartment, which is one of my favourite films of all time. It's one of my favourite films of the 60s. I think she was really great in that. She had a lot of warmth and humanity in that. And yeah, so this was like 10 years after, a whole decade after. As a result of that, she does have the maturity that is required for this role. There are sequences in this that, as I was watching it, I remembered that I had seen as a young boy. Presumably my dad would have been watching it and I'd have caught it going on in the background. Particularly the sequence where they're trying to blow up a railway bridge. So they're trying to stop this train from reaching its destination because it's got things on it that will help the opposing side, so to speak. So they want to take out this bridge. But Eastwood's character, Hogan, is injured, and so he's got to balance his gun on Sister Sara's shoulder in order to try and take this shot and shoot out some dynamite. But that whole section is it's humorous, it's action-packed, it's tense because you don't know, are they going to get it? Are they going to set off this bomb? Is the train going to make it? It's really great in that regard. I think Don Siegel throughout manages to find ways of building these sequences in which he can inject it with humour and tension in equal measure. That can be said of the finale as well, in which Hogan and Sara and a bunch of allies that they've kind of got together with, have to storm this fort. They've got to get in there and do what they need to do. But again, the build up to that, it's almost played like a heist movie. The film in some ways as well feels like a commentary on marriage and coupling and the way that men and women get together, and how perhaps women present their best side in order to snag the man, and they might go after something of a rogue, which they then tame or kind of get to carry their bags, so to speak, metaphorically speaking, so that they can, yeah, like that's a very kind of sexist idea of outlook on how marriage ends up. But I'm sure that is a certain projection that exists for a very particular reason. But yeah, it's a commentary on relationship, on courting in many ways, and how it starts out compared with how it ends up, but in an amusing fashion, I would say. Not something to be taken too seriously. It's just really nicely paced. It's very well directed. The performances are really charming. I love the two main characters particularly. I love the chemistry between Maclaine and Eastwood. And it's just a romp, a rollicking romp that I had a really good time with. But what about you? Have you seen Two Mules for Sister Sara? If so, I would like to know what you thought about it. Please do leave your comments down below. Let me know your thoughts. Do check out my membership and Patreon programs so you can find out how you can support this channel and what you get in return for that. Yeah, thank you for watching this video, and until next time, cracking.